Yeah, thanks everyone for joining me. Today's topic is building in Web3. I have kept this slightly more generic. It's not, the talk is focused slightly more towards the developer audience because that's my background, that's where I come from, and I can relate to that the most. But for non developers as well, I'm happy to share tips and tricks if you're interested in getting into the Web3 space, or even if you want to move to a development space. I am more than happy to help you out, share tips and tricks, or just get on a call. That helps. Just to introduce myself, my name is Gyan Lakshmi. Damn it, I put my picture but not my name. All right. But yeah, my name is Gyan Lakshmi and I am currently based out of Bangalore, India. I have over 8+ years of experience, actually, over 9 years of experience in the software industry space. I graduated as a software developer and kind of moved to take typical Web2 jobs, which are software engineer, associate software engineer, worked with cloud primarily in the backend space with Java, Python, and a lot of scripting around the cloud environments. I got into Web3 or blockchain about 5.5 years ago, and I started mostly as a Solidity developer, and then moved on to kind of move into the education space. I worked for a short while with a startup in the education space called Blockchain University, and I also worked. And I'm also volunteering right now with a nonprofit called Women Who Code, which is an organization meant to get more women into the space of technology overall. But as a part of my employment with Women Who Code, I started a community called Women Who Code Blockchain, which was aimed to getting more women developers into the space. My experience as an academic researcher in the Blockchain University organization, as well as my experience starting an entire community for female developers in the space of blockchain, were two most learning curves for me. And that's when I kind of it accelerated my entire growth in the space. And today, as you can see, couple of things I could conjure and couple of logos I couldn't conjure. But the projects on top, you can see some of the projects that I'm associated with. The first one is Clipit. It's an NFT marketplace specifically for African artists, where we are selling all kinds of NFTs, not just images, but also music, which is originated in Africa and by African artists. So that's a very special project. The second logo that you see is that of an organization called Ethernal. With Clipit, I work as the CTO. With Ethernal, I work as the Chief Blockchain Officer. Here, this project is another very interesting NFT project. For It's an NFT marketplace for tattoo artists. We recently had a bunch of our tattoo artists also in ListCon doing tattoos, as well as NFT tattoos, which you can keep with you for, of course, the longest period of time. Then some of the other projects that I'm associated with in one or the other capacity, either as a tech lead or the blockchain architect, CoinFantasy. It's a decentralized game, which is kind of fantasy trading, but using crypto tokens, not using for crypto tokens. Spock is a game again, which is based on sports stock. So that's a project that I'm working on very closely right now. And Benefit is another NFT marketplace built on Harmony Protocol, which is specifically for charity. So these are a couple of projects, and below you can see the kind of layer one chains that I work with. Harmony Protocol, I've of course worked with Ethereum, pardon the E, Polygon layer two, I've worked with Algorand and Eternity as well. So, Covalent, I am also a Covalent ambassador and I lead the education guild at Covalent. So, that's pretty much about me. My background is my main interests are education and technology, blockchain, and of course, primarily focused on the developer ecosystem. So, today's presentation is more towards encouraging more folks to come and build and trying to show them couple of paths on how this could potentially happen, right? What is the significance of building in this space? And if you are getting started, or if you're anywhere on your journey, what are a couple of things that could help you? And what are the things that you would need in order to get yourself into this ecosystem? So to start with, it is a common thing to spell build as BUIDL or BIDL in the Web3 ecosystem. You would have seen this pretty commonly. It is not a spelling mistake, it is intentional. Because here and this is one of the definitions I picked from the consensus website. But of course, just to tweak it a little bit and talk a little bit more about how building in a web 2 ecosystem is slightly different, and building in a in a web 3 ecosystem is not traditional as just like web 2, right? So that's why there's a bit of twist to the word build itself. But essentially what it means is building useful blockchain based products and services, right? Here, in order to build the services or the products or solutions, we use something called smart contracts. So, in our typical Web 2 world, we use a programming language which, at the end of the day, writes your business logic. That is, what do you want your application to do? Whether if you want your application to click pictures and post it on internet automatically, there is a logic behind this, right? So, this is your business logic. Most of the business logic in the Web3 world is centered around something called smart contracts, which have the ability to take decisions by themselves. That's why in the Web3 world, we say that code is law, right? It's not human dependent, it's not human centric anymore. Once you decide to do something and you codify them on the smart contracts have the intelligence to make that call whenever it is required in your business use case. The second thing that is within the first point itself is in the Web3 ecosystem. Whenever you are building for the entire globe. You are not building for a specific geography, more or less, right? Most of your products are international, they are global in nature, and you are building for people of all kinds. It is supposed to be very, very inclusive in nature. The whole idea, the whole sentiment of building in Web3 is supposed to be very, very inclusive, right? So when you are thinking of building a product, think of how that product or that solution will serve for different races, different genders, different cultures, because across the globe, people are going to be consuming those products or services. So while building, you have to always remember this, that build for an inclusive ecosystem. Of course, second point is very specific to Ethereum. That is, what does BUIDL mean? It means that developing projects, blockchain projects, on every layer of the Ethereum network, starting right from the protocol to the infrastructure to the DApp and the design. So your entire stack, we call this as stack. Even in the Web2 ecosystem, we call it as a stack, which includes right from the experience, the UI UX design experience, to the application itself, to what kind of infrastructure that you use, decentralized infrastructure for your application, and then what kind of protocols do we use, right? So of course we can say that the entire decentralized applications need three types of decentralization. One is storage decentralization, network decentralization, and compute decentralization. Your compute decentralization comes from the blockchain itself. Case in point, here we have Ethereum, which is going to be the compute layer for us. Then we have a network layer, which is something like Swarm. Then we have a storage layer, which is IPFS or other storage services provided by folks across the globe. So these are the different ways in which we can decentralize our build or build or our solution that we are building. So I have split this into like three things. What should you build, right? How can you build, and why should you build, right? These are the three major points that I want to discuss. I see that there is a hand raise. Is there a question? Do you want me to take it now or post the presentation? I'm okay either ways. Oh,
If
okay. Sorry, I thought it was a question. My bad. Mm, all right. So the first thing, right? What can we build? What can you build in the Web3 ecosystem? Well, the answer is very simple. You can build anything that your heart desires. You can build anything that you want to build. You want to build applications which solve a specific problem. Those are called dApps or decentralized applications. Of course, you can build that. Are you more research inclined? Are you more academically inclined? Or are you curious about how the protocol itself works, right? There are so many different protocols. There's like Harmony protocol, there's like Ethereum. Of course, then Ethereum has several other layer twos that are coming. You have Polygon, you have Metis, you have Arbitrum that is coming. So, are you interested at the very core of how things work? You can choose to build a protocol or work on a protocol. Developer tools. What if you don't want to build your own solution? What if you don't want to work at protocol level? You can also build developer tools. What are developer tools? Something that will help these protocol and dApp builders, right? It could be tools where you're analyzing data. It could be tools where you're trying to understand what is happening in these different transactions. It could be tools that will help developers to build in a more simplified manner, right? Now, taking a look at each of these things, right? What are decentralized applications and what do you build, right? Essentially, when we talk about building, if you want to solve a particular problem, right? Suppose an example could be that right now you think that any of the cab services like Uber or Lyft, or in India we use something called Ola. These are all very centralized in nature, right? If you think that you have had some kind of experience where you did not like how the centralized nature of these cab organizations operate, you feel like there is no democracy for the cab drivers to speak up. There is no democracy for those who are utilizing this service to give their opinion about the product, to build the product itself, right? In this case, here you feel like centralization is a problem and you want to solve this problem. So maybe you want to build a decentralized Uber, or you are passionate about some other problem like how charities are functioning right now. The donation to the charities is not so transparent. There are a lot of CSR activities going on, and they claim that they are doing some social donations, but it's not that transparent as to how much is money is going into, what is happening with the money, etc. Maybe you're not happy about that ecosystem and you want to solve a problem there. So there could be multiple problems in the existing ecosystem that you could solve by building a decentralized application. The second thing that you can think of while building in this space or wanting to build in this space is there are existing solutions, but they are not that great. Maybe the UI UX design is not so smooth, it's not very user intuitive, or the app itself doesn't function that great, it keeps breaking, right? There could be so many things wrong with what is going on in the with the existing products, and this could be web3 products themselves, right? And you want to enhance user experience in these products, and you decide to build something on your own, right? That could be one of the ways you could start getting into the decentralized applications. Now the third, and this is a little bit like I have ordered it kind of, the difficulty level. The third is, suppose you see a domain like a niche domain, for example manufacturing domain, right? There are some kind of manufacturing factories, or some kind of manufacturing companies that are still very very unfamiliar with what is web3. They are still very very unfamiliar with the new ecosystem, and they are unfamiliar with how they should migrate to this new ecosystem, right? We call it change management. So you want to step in and revolutionize a domain, right? You want to be like, no, I'm going to bring web3 to the manufacturing industry, right? Now, this is again a scope for you to build applications where you can revolutionize an entire domain and onboard those folks into the Web3 ecosystem. The last but not the least is you want to experiment at the protocol level itself, right? You want to go to the protocol, you want to understand more deeper into how the engineering of the protocol works, etc., and you want to experiment with the protocol. In that case as well, you can build decentralized applications to experiment with different protocols that you're interested in. Now, the second thing in this itself, in terms of what you can build, is very closely related to protocols. Like, if you have a deep engineering interest or academic interest to work with protocols at the very core layer, at the stack layer, and build your own protocol, that is also an option. You can solve the problems with the existing protocols. You can create enhancements to the existing ecosystems. For example, Ethereum was just a layer 1 when it was introduced, but there are now so many layer 2 solutions being built on top of this existing protocol, which are protocols themselves, right? And this, like optimizing solutions or thinking of scalability, can you build something that is more scalable than the existing product, right? Creating something new or innovative, which is a totally different protocol altogether. These are some things that you could do or build when it comes to protocol level building. The third, as I already mentioned, I don't have to go deep into it. Developer tools, simple and straightforward. You see something and you feel like, okay, this is incomplete. I need to build something that will enhance this product. Or you are a developer and you are working with specific projects and you face certain problems. Or you interview your developer friends and they say that, hey, I'm building on the Web3 ecosystem, but I'm facing a lot of issues, right? I'm not able to get this data, I'm not able to understand what's happening over there, I don't understand what the logs mean, I need certain information but I don't know how to get it. In that case, you can think of what are the pain points that would need to be solved for the developers and build tools, which is, by the way, an entire ecosystem where people are craving to get products, right? So this is going to be for the next couple of months, or at least 1 year down, for the next 1 year, this is going to be the hottest ecosystem that is coming up, that is developer tools. If you build for developers, your product is definitely going to be one of the most lucrative products for people to use. So now that we have answered the what question, right? Of course, the next question is how. How do you start building in this ecosystem? What are the things that you need to build in this ecosystem, right? So very quickly, this answer is, I can just go on, and it's a very exhaustive topic by itself. But couple of things that I would start with are, the image over here, it signifies that your community is everything in the Web3 space, right? And it's not just one community, you have the opportunity to be a part of multiple communities and learn from each other, right? That's the way to go when it comes to the Web3 ecosystem. A couple of steps that could help you get started. You can start with learning any smart contract language. It could be Solidity and Viper are the most popular for EVM based, which is Ethereum Virtual Machine. So I would highly recommend probably go for these. Solidity is, of course, much more popular than Viper, and it would give you a great head start to start building in the ecosystem. Once you have learned something, immediately try to go put it to use. That is, participate in some hackathons or volunteer developing for certain projects. There are a lot of projects right now which do not have funding in the ecosystem. So they are constantly looking for volunteers who can help them develop even small portions or bits and pieces of the project. If you can help with in development, then that's a how learning curve for you, right? How do you build products in this ecosystem, and you're getting a hands-on experience. This kind of experience you will not get easily in the web 2 space. However, in web 3 you have lot of opportunities to get these kind of experience. Peer program, that is, we call this as like peer development sessions, where we sit with peers, we develop with them. Like I said, you be a part of the community, maybe set up some study sessions, attend forums like this where you will get to learn things, talk to your peers, connect with them, right? Understand what they are building and how can you get to contribute in some meaningful way in terms of the projects they are working on. And of course, don't hesitate to apply for grants. um, if you feel like you have a great idea, you can apply for grants or funding, and this will help you build a team for you to build out something, right? So these are a couple of tips and tricks, I would say, couple of steps that you can follow in terms of trying to answer the how. Now the why, again, this is a very can go like a, a longer conversation, could also go a little bit philosophical sometimes into why people should actually come to the web3 space and build. I would just say some of the very things that come to the top of my mind. Definitely first mover advantage, right? You have the first mover advantage if you are building right now in this space, right? There is nothing like building in a new and innovative space when it is just coming up, and we are still in the very very nascent, very very initial stages of seeing products emerge out in this ecosystem. So if you're building right now, you have the first mover advantage. Going down the line, 5 years, 10 years, your expertise would be considered very, very, very in high regards. So definitely that. If you are excited about learning something new, this is my own personal inspiration to the why on Web3. I'm always excited, interested to learn something new. I always experiment with new protocols, try to learn new protocols, participate in hackathons, and things like that. Of course, last but not the least, when I say lucrative jobs, I mean money. You have lot of money in this space, not just in the form of hackathons, in the form of grants, in the form of funds. People are looking to invest in products, in solutions, in services that will enhance the ecosystem. Ethereum ecosystem is one such ecosystem where you have several folks willing to put their money, willing to invest in you, in your product, in your idea. So this is the time to go for it and make money as well. So this is a win-win situation in every way possible, right? You learn something new as well as you make money out of this whole uh, experience, if you could, right? Now, just to close, and I wanted to keep it 20 to 25 minutes, so we have some time for Q&A. Of course, I'm happy to talk more about anything and everything under the Web3 ecosystem. But just wanted to quickly take you through some of the resources and some of the projects that I am a part of. You could contribute as well. Some of the resources that are very helpful for developers starting to want to learn Solidity. Of course, Solidity docs. You should definitely go to the Solidity main docs. Let's see if I can pull it up. This has everything that you need to know about Solidity. It is one of the really good places to start learning about Solidity. But if you find this too overwhelming, there are a lot of different things like crypto zombies, which is a gamified way of learning Solidity. So this is like a small game where you build your own zombie and you try to learn to write your own smart contracts. It's very fun. And then you have your editor. This is your remix editor, where you can learn to write your own contracts. By default, it gives you three contracts: storage, owner, and ballot as default contracts, which you can go through and understand how it's written. So, from a developer perspective, these are quite useful. You can also, if you are a visual learner, you can watch tutorials on YouTube. And Consensus Academy also provides a free basics course. I think their certification program is paid, but they also provide basics free course which you can take up to just understand about blockchain, what it means, etc. There is one really excellent course on Coursera as well on blockchain and Solidity. So if you're interested, you could take that up. You can just audit the course for free. Or if you are interested, you can go for the certification, paid certification as well. Um, and one of the other best methods to learn about a project or about anything in the Web3 ecosystem is join a lot of the open source DAOs. These are some of the things that I would like to talk about. What are the learning paths that are available right now, where I can you can ping me on either Twitter or Discord or Telegram, and I'll help you. I'll help you get onboarded to any of these. We have the Education Guild, the Education Guild at Alchemist DAO, which is run by, which is a DAO by Covalent. And I'm one of the deans at the Education Guild. So we do a lot of interesting workshops. In fact, we have one scheduled for this Friday. We have a lot of workshops on different topics in the Web3 and the Web2 space. A lot for not just for developer audience, by the way. We have workshops for audience just curious to learn about the crypto world. We have workshops on fitness. We have various different guilds as well that you can join. So, and to be a part of this DAO, you just need one CQT, which is close to $1.3 or so right now, I believe. So you just need one CQT in your MetaMask wallet, and you can be a part of this DAO. You can join any any guild, specifically the Education Guild, and you can get bounties to write articles, to learn about things, to build tutorials, etc. So this is a good way to learn and also express yourselves, like also a good way to build your own profile in the Web3 space. Again, another organization called Questbook, they have their own learning app, where you can do a lot of quests and learn different types of programming or different types of smart contracts and stuff by doing these quests. Let me see if I can open up any of the quests. Yeah, so you have quests like where you can write Solidity programs, where you can write Solana programs, where you can, so you can see these are quests associated with the Web3 ecosystem. So you have, of course, the most popular Ethereum track, then you have the Solana track, you have the Near track, etc. Right? So you can do these quests, and you can, of course, you can earn some quest tokens, but also you get to learn, right, how to build in the ecosystem. Then I have for our Clip project, which is our NFT marketplace, we also have an NFT learning academy where it's just open source content that we have created. I'll pick up the link and probably send it across. And you can learn anything and everything about NFTs under the NFT umbrella on our NFT academy. So here are a couple of open source resources that you can take up. Then, of course, there are a lot more in the ecosystem. Whatever style suits you the best, you can go for that and continue learning. And yeah, last but not the least, you can connect with me over Twitter. This is my Twitter handle, or Discord. I know the Discord ID is slightly complicated, but yeah, that's how it is. I have the same uh, Twitter name on my Telegram as well, so you can connect with me either on Twitter or Telegram. And if you want any help in terms of getting started in the Web3 ecosystem, or you want to just chat about any new project that you're building, and want my opinion on that, or just want to just I can share my thoughts, or you just want me to review uh, your idea, or whatever it is that you would want regarding the building in the Web3 space, I am happy to kind of help. I started my journey as a part of a community, and I'm always very happy to give back to the community. Though I'm working on multiple projects, so maybe sometimes I'm not able to respond to you right away. But whenever I can, I'll definitely make time to connect and help out in whatever way possible.